I don't know what I was talking about today. I just wanted to let some stuff off, basically talking about control, how we controlled religion, scientism, materialism, and so on. If anyone was here earlier and they want to ask me any questions about materialism or scientism, as I call it, and I actually thought of the phrase myself, but then it turns out that it is a term that's around. Maybe I saw it on the periphery and picked it up, but I'm kind of fascinated by it and how we've moved from an age of learning the liberal arts, which I'm doing a show on soon, which are the 7 studies, the Trivium and The Quadrivium, the first 3 being grammar, logic and rhetoric. And what that does is activates your mind. And then the next 4, astronomy, geometry, mathematics and art, I think. And those together, the 7 are the liberal arts. And they don't teach that anymore. And if you learn the liberal arts, I mean, it's a really interesting area, and I deplore everybody here to go and take a look at what the liberal arts are. If you raise your child to understand the liberal arts and how they function, you're going to raise a genius. You're going to raise a diamond of a kid. And I'm not trying to have a go at anyone or their kids or how they raise their kids. We all raise our kids differently. However, we're raising our kids the way the system wants them to be raised, which turns out automatons a lot of the time. And I know it's hard work raising kids. I know, everyone wants the best for their kids, but I see a lot of competition still. And don't feel bad if you're one of these people, because I'm talking about you, not you in particular. I see people talking about the system and against the system and how the system's rubbish, but they're the very same people who post up, hey, my kid passed their exams, hey, my kid done really well at school, my kid's learning everything by the book, which the school's teaching them, and getting good marks. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I learned at school, my mother told me, go to school, learn the system, and then you can break the rules afterwards, which I did and do. But a lot of the time, what I find is that I never see people posting, hey, look, and they've taught their kids something way outside of the curriculum. You know, like, oh, listen, I was teaching my kid about psychology, or about this philosopher, or, you know, this artist, or this history of, like, like Panama or something like that. It's always to do with the curriculum. So I say to you, you know, take a dive. Kids are amazing. They're just like sponges. They can take it all in. And if you can pique their interest just for a moment with something outside of the curriculum, then that kid's going to have that little extra about them. And it's not about competing, but it makes them more whole. Now, I love optical illusions and projects. I took my kid's son the other day. I said, come here, we're going to make an Ames window. And I don't know if you see anyone here who sees maybe my Facebook post, but I posted it on Facebook. It's an amazing optical illusion. Requires quite a bit of work with a knife and cutting out the windows, but it's a great project for a kid to sit down and work on their manual dexterity with the cutting, to understand the geometry of the shape and cutting it, and then to view the optical illusion afterwards. And I'm not casting any dispersions on anybody and how you raise your kids, and I'm not saying there is a right way to do it, but I have a feeling a lot of people, because I was guilty of it as well with my kids, was that, you know, you don't show them much outside of the curriculum, almost as if they have to excel in that to compete with other kids. And, you know, very rarely does a kid get up and say, oh, listen, I know a lot about Euclidean geometry, or I learned about Aristotle today. So make sure you get some of that into your kids. The liberal arts, look it up. You cannot go wrong.